How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. This video, I wanted to talk about how powerful items are, namely healing items, and why I think healing items, due to how powerful they are and the fact that we have percent healing items in the game, they make a cleric pretty redundant most of the time. They make almost any heals redundant. Like any class that heals, it's almost like you don't need to heal. I find most battles last to be about 10 turns if you're doing things correctly and you have the right gear, the right units. Maybe some post-game battles, like really late game, like CODA, later levels of Palace of the Dead, you know, Hanging Gardens, other zones, other areas that are a little bit harder, might take a little bit more specialized party, you might not be prepared for. Those could go pretty long. I mean, even some of the story boss battles like Zabos and other ones that were kind of roadblocks for some people, like kind of like a party check. You know, those were over in about 10 turns, unless you just spent 3 or 4 turns trying to kill the boss because it took no damage. So, what am I getting at? Okay, so here we are. I'm just in a training battle. We have Mother's Blessing procced on my cleric, which is Olivia. Now, I want to show you something, just why this is my argument that I make, and we got heal 3. I know it's not heal 4, it's heal 3. So Mother's Blessing procced heals for 468. Which, you know, that's acceptable. With Mother's Blessing, I can handle about a 500 HP heal 3. Obviously, heal 4 is going to do more. You know, 500 HP, I mean, we look at Denim, he's got, or not Denim, Murden, he's got 1485, so, you know, that's like a third or a fourth of his health. Same thing here, about a fourth. Okay, we're looking good. The Dragon, it's obviously not worth it to use on a Dragon. You know, my Griffin, same thing. Not really worth it. A 400, you know, almost 500 heal is good on, you know, most level 36 human units. Obviously, it's great on, like, a wizard or something. That's half their hit points. But this is where we run into the problem where the hit points of the units obviously are going to go up, obviously. So eventually, you know, we're going to have level 50 units, and we're going to have heal 4, which heal 4 is probably going to do about 600, I would wager. You know, with Mother's Blessing. So, we're easily going to be over 2k on all these guys. Even, like, a caster is probably going to be at about 15 by the time they're level 50. Maybe, like, 13, 1400. Maybe 15's a little pushing it. But, you know, so 600 still viable on them with heal 4, with Mother's Blessing. But, okay, so we're going to heal, you know, we're going to heal 3, okay. 464, okay. Now, what I want to, like, look at here and show, you know, is other units healing. Like, my Griffin here's hurt. Let's say he was lower. I usually carry 2 or 3 healing items. Now, these are only 50%ers. Obviously, I would carry a 75% or 100 if I was in really more dangerous, and I'd even take away a Blessing Stone. These are so much more useful. Even a 50%, that's going to heal me for over 1,200 hit points. Now, the argument is, well, you get a limited amount, and that's true. That's why I would bring, like, the 75 or 100% ones, not 50. And the Griffin can get pretty low, and the nice thing is the Griffin can get revived and then heal, which would, you know, if he has 100%, he's back up to 2,500, which is super helpful as well to have. And it's just, the battles, if they're short, well, not short, but most battles are shorter to the point where you're not gonna, I don't run out of items. Like, I don't think I've had a battle where, like, I'm like, man, I have no more healing and no more revival stones. What am I gonna do? Like, I've never had that happen. So, I'm not saying battles can't be longer. Obviously, they can. And especially on, like, post-game, end-game, really hard content, this doesn't really pertain to that. Because, 1, I haven't experienced it myself, so I really can't comment on it. And 2, I'm sure longevity's gonna play more, and a cleric or any other unit with heals obviously can heal as long as they have MP. There's no, like, well, I can only heal 3 times, blah, blah, blah. So now we look at heal 3 on a White Knight. It's 233. You know, obviously no Mother's Blessing, okay. So we're going to see what Olivia's is without Mother's Blessing procced. And keep in mind, she's a White Knight. She's a cleric, so she should have the best healing, but she doesn't. She heals just as much as the White Knight, just as much as a Rune Fencer. We didn't proc it. 234. So, even though she's a cleric, you know, and some people, I've had people say, like, mind and that, they do scale with healing, but it's so minuscule. So what is she? She's 182 mind, or not mind, they said int. I don't know why I said. Her int's 159. What's yours? You have more int. The White Knight has more int. But anyway, the scaling is so insignificant. So she can heal just as much as a White Knight, which is going to be just as much as Denim, which is going to, well, Denim's a Rune Fencer, which is going to be just as much as a Rune Fencer, which is going to be just as much as a Princess. So my argument with the whole cleric business is other than me having the AoE heal ability, which obviously Major Heal 1 kind of sucks. But if we look at Major Heal 1, and everybody talks about the range and how range is good, and yeah, range is good. It's only, you know, it can heal 5 units. Now, are you going to really have 5 units like in a T shape like this, or a plus, I mean? I think I've only ever healed like 3 units, like these guys would all heal. And it's 114. Once we get to Major Heal 2, I think it's around 190, 200 it heals per, a little over 200. So we're proccing 200 on everybody without Mother's Blessing, and with Mother's Blessing it goes up to close to 3. So we're getting a 300 group heal, which, you know, it's nothing to laugh at. It's not like, oh no, that's just a waste of a turn, but I just carry, why not just heal my own units with their own items? Then you could argue, well, you're wasting their turn, they could be doing damage. Well, yeah, but I'm wasting a turn with a cleric that could be a damage dealer. So, like, that argument kind of works both ways. Well, you're wasting a turn when you could be attacking. Well, you're wasting a turn with a cleric in the party every turn. And a lot of people argue Boon of Swiftness is great, which it is. Boon of Swiftness is great. But I'm gonna tell you guys something that, like, I might be crazy, but I don't really rely on, like, speed increases too much. I mean, they're useful, and I'll use them when I got nothing better to do, or it's the beginning of the turn, but generally, I'm not trying to speed everybody up. I don't know. I speed up a few units, maybe, and that's about it, because I generally notice most of the time you're not going to get, like, a ton of more turns than the enemy. Like, because everybody still gets their turn, it's just your turn comes sooner, is the main benefit. So I just wanted to say that, like, healing items, with the percent, if we had, like, Mendleaf and stuff that only healed, like, 150 to 350 like they did back in the day, and if hit points capped at about 800 like they did, like Olivia here, 928, that was, like, a level 50 unit in the PSP version. Like, that was maximum. Like, you weren't going to get anybody over 1,000, barely. Maybe some monster units. Percent healing is so strong. Those items that were introduced into this game literally make a cleric almost redundant. Other than exorcism, which you can have exorcism items, but obviously then that would take away healing items. So I really wouldn't bring. I would bring a cleric in the Palace of the Dead, but that is literally the main place they're only going to be useful, which is kind of sad when you really think about it. Because I have played the whole game except for Chapter 1 without a cleric, and I've had no issues. Obviously, storyline's different. Post-game, I've done some, you know, I've done Farampa, Wildwood, which isn't really post-game. You know, some POTD, you know, other little things here and there, elemental temples, the shrines. I've never been like, damn, I really wish I had a cleric right now with AoE heals or with a little bit of a top-off heal, because I'll literally just have the unit injured, and they'll be, like, critical. They'll be, like, you know, 20% health. I'll pop a big item on them, and they're good to go. So I don't know. This is just kind of my reasoning. I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying any of you are wrong. If you love clerics and you use them all the time, hey, man, enjoy it. Like, that's how you want to play. I'm just trying to state that clerics are not a necessity, and items are really strong. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say healing items with percent-based power are very, very strong now, and they make clerics less useful. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I mean. Items reduce the effectiveness and need for clerics. Not that they're useless. Not that they're bad. They're just kind of meh. And really only useful if there's undead. If there were no undead in the Palace of the Dead, you wouldn't need a cleric. You really wouldn't. If there were literally no undead there. It's the undead, and, you know, you got to exercise and do other things, so. Anyway, this video's longer than I wanted to. Hopefully I explained a little bit. I know some people are gonna die on the cleric hill, and that's fine. You know, like I said, you love cleric. You buff out your cleric. You get all the item cards. You got them at 300 intelligence. You know, you got the best gear. You got +3 range. You're just healing across the map, and you love it. That's great. That's awesome. I am not making fun of you or anything. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a good one, and until then, I will see you in the next one. Later, guys. Peace.